Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
The moment of the week is a throwback from Scott Hall's Hall of Fame induction, his part of the ceremony. This is episode, I lost track.
Six.
Six. It's been a tough week for wrestling fans.
Hey, yo.
Absolutely.
We lost a legend. Arguably top 3 big guys, top 5. Yeah. I would say top 3 personally of all time. This is legit heat. I am Jimmy Luca.
Gary the Saint.
The Scotty Mac.
And we got a guest with us this week, somebody who's, I would say, probably even joining the legit Heat family. He is a dear friend of mine.
I wouldn't say dear friend. I'll just say just small acquaintance.
Some
guy. I am Hollywood George. Nice to be here.
George.
Thank you, fellas, for having me.
All right. Let's get into it. We want to dedicate, obviously, this episode to Scott Hall, a.k.a. Razor. But we saved the best for last. You know how we rock with the show. Main event, for sure. We want to set the show off with some WWE news this week. Not much, to be honest, so we did want to, unless I'm missing anything.
We did get
We get into
Sharmell as Hall of Fame inductee.
Boo! I forgot that was coming. Yeah.
I'm just glad that Undertaker is not going in solo.
Why are you glad at that?
Because I don't think that should be a thing. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
I
don't care
the
that
biggest
he's been
name in sports entertainment history.
What do you mean you don't think he should be going in solo?
So, yeah,
though?
what is he should have been with Paul Bearer going in?
No, because there was talks about him going in, just him, like no one else.
Oh, that would have no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you mean no?
No.
He gets to go in with Queen Sharmell?
And I'm going to do this now because Hollywood George is on here. I'm going to fucking do it. Here we go. If Shawn Michaels can't go in by himself, then Undertaker can. It's that fucking simple.
Yeah, that's simple. Yeah.
They're running out of people to put in the Hall of Fame, guys.
No, they're not.
No,
I'm just happy they got Big Van Vader in there.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
I mean,
yeah,
I can't even be mad at the Sharmell thing when Vader finally got in. Personally,
no, I mean, totally agree.
You want to talk top big
Vader
men
could go
right
in
there?
next year, but
Yeah, that's
your
true.
point.
He's
That's
right
true.
up there.
It's time. It's Vader
Queen
time.
Sharmell time.
Who else is in this year? I feel like they haven't even announced anybody.
Those are the 3 so far. And how fucking funny would it be if Kurt Angle was the one to induct Queen Sharmell into the Hall of Fame?
Remember that?
Yeah,
So
do I remember that?
You remember that?
I sure do.
Let the people know in case they don't know. Because there's some wrestling fans who think they know what the fuck they're talking about, and then
there was so wrestling fans. Here's a story time of when wrestling was
Story
not
time with
really,
who, baby?
With Scotty Mac, baby.
yeah, let's go.
Love it.
So back about a decade ago, wrestling really wasn't that good. I would say they were just trying to be edgy. They were trying to do kind of attitude era stuff.
Yeah.
And Kurt Angle just got real inappropriate and real sexual with Sharmell and basically said. He was in a feud with Booker T. He's like, I don't care if I beat you. He's like, basically, I just want to fuck your wife. And it was just so
and that's
weird.
how we got Jason Jordan.
It was just so
Holy shit.
It was just so weird, and I never understood that angle.
Yo.
It was shoot. That's why it wasn't an angle. It was a Kurt Angle shoot.
Well, and then later in
So
TNA,
Kurt absolutely hated that shit.
you know what? I think Kurt Angle paid for that storyline later because then later in TNA, his wife left him for Jeff Jarrett. So
That was
there's that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah.
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 Yep.
you never seen
And
that?
they turned that shit into a
No.
storyline.
Yeah.
They turned that shit into a storyline. That was fucking weird, but
I feel like you're going to be a
That's TNA.
reoccurring guy. One thing you'll learn about me is that TNA, after a certain point, I'm like, ugh.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I didn't watch TNA during TNA time. Like I was still heavy into WWE.
Yeah, me too.
But like, God, did I like not go on a manhunt to go back and like watch? Because AEW's bringing back all these guys and like, but TNA like it's like been there, done that when these guys were like kind of still in their like the Christians and the you know what I mean. But
You should watch some of the lockdowns that they had, which is their kind of version of the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Did you
Like-
watch that clip on TNA, like Instagram the other day, of the Rhino versus AJ Styles X Factor match or whatever it was called?
Ultimate X?
Yeah.
Well, they're bringing back Ultimate X.
Are
Actually,
they? Oh, is that why they were hyping that?
This intrigued me. Apparently, Impact is
So
doing...
for the non-TNA guys here,
Yes.
Thank you.
Ultimate X basically was 2 scaffoldings 20 feet
I
above the
remember
ring,
this. Yeah.
and they were
With the X division, right?
it was like the light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was no
It
limits.
was like their cruiserweight.
Right.
it was
exactly.
no limits. Samoa Joe was the champ.
He was at one point, yeah.
Kurt Angle was the champ.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. It was
yeah,
Gary is right. Yes, that is true. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that was the best part of it.
I did when Samoa Joe was heavy
like
on
the XFL
TNA.
kind
That
of
was who
thing.
made me watch TNA when I watched TNA.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Wait, can you get back to the scaffolding for a second?
Yeah.
It's
So
gonna be
above
big
the ring,
Rob
like
Black
20 feet above
vibes,
the
yeah.
ring,
Red,
they
right?
put 2
They were
X's.
red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything in TNA was red. And then once they switched to a fucking blue X on everything, that was when it
That was
all went to
Perk
shit.
Angle era.
That was Berg Angle, yeah.
It was a few years before Kurt got there, but
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
six-sided
yeah,
ring,
yeah.
man.
I remember that. Yep.
Is that, by the way, that's the camera?
That's the camera.
Figured we show. I didn't.
That's a hard cam you gotta look into, yeah.
Okay, I got that. I'll keep in mind. So that was a good shot of the ring for the people. I didn't know if you want to show the. I was like, you showed me, but
Oh, we could put
We'll
it
bring
in.
up on
Yeah,
YouTube.
it'll be edited. I do
Edit
this
it.
oh well,
magic
on the fly.
thing
All right.
where yeah.
So Impact is doing this thing called the multiverse of matches, which has me very intrigued. It's a return of the Ultimate X. The other match that they're advertising is the Good Brothers versus the Briscoe Brothers.
Ooh,
So,
Briscoe
ROH
Brothers, the one
legends.
people that AEW refused to hire.
well, because Jay Briscoe said some pretty bad shit about gay people.
Oh.
He said like he's basically saying how like you don't teach my children that shit, and like yeah, it was bad. I mean, it was a few years ago and he apologized for it, but I mean,
2013.
Yes.
he did
Yep.
apologize. It was pretty bad.
yeah, well, yeah.
I actually recently started looking at the Briscoe brothers and like try to go back.
As
and,
talented as they are,
Ring of Honor is like
They're,
their
I mean, yeah,
best.
they're kind of the ones where obviously Ring of Honor is not the land of misfit toys, but
Yeah.
at one point they kind of were.
Yep.
Shout out to Ricochet. That's all I.
Yeah.
That's all I. When I say Ring of Honor, that's.
I mean, they've bred some pretty,
A lot, but-
Punk, Samoa Joe,
Daniel
obviously
Bryan.
Brian
Bryan.
Danielson.
Yep, Christopher Daniels,
Never get that right. right.
Adam Cole,
Baby.
Kevin Steen, Generico.
but Ricochet lived there until what?
Yeah, he
A
did.
couple years ago
Yeah.
when he got signed by
Amazing Red.
WWE.
Yep.
Amazing
Yep.
Radio.
Other than
What else happened in WWE this week?
there hasn't been any new updates on the
Brock Lesnar
Cody Rhodes rumors.
chasing-
However,
Except what's
are
his
we
name
debating
trolling?
what
that?
I wanted to get into
Not Graves, whoever the main guy is.
is it. I thought it was Graves.
That's what I thought too.
I could be wrong.
I've
been wrong before.
BT Wrestling, BT WWE, WWE on BT. The Instagram.
The fuck?
It's a WWE
bump?
account. It's like BT Sport WWE.
Boo.
Or some
Oh,
shit.
oh,
know.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a WWE account. It's not a wrestling account. Posted with the caption was very, very weird. It was like, what was it? Seth Rollins. We're touching back on the rumors that we were touching on from last week. And shout out to you guys. The video did numbers. I appreciate
Yes,
the
thank
support.
you so much.
Whatever.
Clearly, people agreed with us. Whether
This
it was
fucking
Gary,
guy think he's too cool to say
which is
thank you to
probably
our
like
fans
30%,
or
and
people
then
that like
me,
to watch our
which
shit.
was like
Not
70%.
fans, whatever.
Hopeful assholes. That's what it is.
That's why no one likes you, Gary.
Touching back on the
Fuck it,
Cody
I care.
Rhodes rumors, Rollins has been a heavy rumor since then, ironically. And then on Monday Night Raw, they said the same thing that they said. They actually doubled down and put it in a caption. This is a WWE account. And they said something like, Rollins' WrestleMania dreams have been dashed. This is a nightmare.
Something about
for
a
him."
nightmare. Yep. So yeah, they're absolutely trolling.
Teasing
Whether
the
it be
fuck
whether
out
it
of
be
this
Graves,
match.
whether it be the new main guy.
Anyone
But,
who believes
I
this
mean,
shit deserves to be called a mark.
Where do we stand? Where do we stand on the rumors across the room? Because I know where Gary stands.
Man, I don't know. It's tough because
It's tough for Gary to sit here and be like, "I agree with you now, Jimmy." He's not gonna do that.
No,
so
he's
he's just
not.
gonna stick to his guns. Let's go.
All right. I I know last week I agreed with Gary and said it was a ruse of that he really hasn't left because Ty Conte said something about when you guys coming back on Twitter about how her and Sammy are getting all the heat now that Brandy and Cody left. But I don't know. I think there's a chance he might. There's a slim chance. I'm like 80-20. I'm 80% he's gonna show up at some point. But the fact that he's showing
80,
up
20, you hear that?
2 weeks.
20 that he comes back to AEW.
No. There's been a lot of stuff saying that he's signed with WWE recently.
Wait. You think there's an 80% chance he comes back to WWE?
Yes.
Boo, fuck you.
Wow. It's getting hot.
Just switch your mind week to week, you asshole.
I'm not. Well, yes, I can, and I'm switching my mind about something else that you'll like later, so you might regret throwing that.
Yeah,
can.
whatever. I have another beer can. We'll see.
I mean, it's a wrestling podcast. It's been a chair.
That's true.
Could've been
Yeah,
a lot worse.
If you were in the middle, we might find out.
Yeah. Concerto. But I'm going 80-20 the other way, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I
like this reinforcement.
I just don't see Cody Rhodes after leaving the WWE the way he did, building this organization from the ground up, and when it's starting to, I don't even want to say take off. I want to say fly into
And
fucking outer
that-
space. I'm sorry. Can you swear on this podcast?
You can.
Oh, yeah.
You
can say whatever the fuck you want.
You can say whatever the
Okay.
fuck you want.
So, again, shit ass dick. So I just don't see him leaving AEW, man. I see it as like a hype to get more people to, because think of this, all right? As big as a pop it would be if Cody Rhodes showed up at WrestleMania, what is the pop going to be like when all this rumor shit dies down and he goes back to AEW for that first time and gives you the heel Cody Rhodes that you've been waiting for?
So
You know what I mean?
you're on the same train as Gary, and I wouldn't be mad at that outcome. I feel like that outcome would make people mark out, but the other outcome, which is money talks, and WWE would pay Cody the fattest check in the world to not only have a WrestleMania appearance, but also work behind the scenes and possibly bring WWE back to where they need to be creatively.
Yeah, or creatively. Yeah, maybe that's what he's going for. Maybe
I know it sounds like a long shot, and me and Scott could 100% be let down.
Sure.
And you will be.
Thank you.
I mean, maybe, but
You beat me to it.
I do like what you say, Jimmy. If he comes back has a really
He'll
good,
have one match, maybe
Yeah.
a couple more, but
Have
I
a couple
think
good
his big
matches.
thing, if he came
it's
back
creative.
to
I
WWE,
like
is
that.
a creative thing.
I like that. I would be okay with that because they obviously need it. They need the help if they're ever going to try.
And it would be a different
They're not
outcome.
accepting help, guys.
I know they're not.
Look what Vince just did to NXT.
And you could 100% be right, because part of me is
The Miz,
also
the
like,
Miz was in NXT this week. That's saying
Oh,
something.
and the
wow.
Mysterios.
And the Mysterios, yeah, they were.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's something happening.
All you got to do is
With
throw-
Dolph Ziggler down there as the
Dolph Ziggler
champ.
just won the champ.
NXT's still a half hour. Put the new girl, Nikita, half hour on NXT.
yeah,
Don't even
yeah.
let me start going there, because this is like a Patreon version, and we're not there yet. But
a Patreon where we just never mind.
We can
yeah,
talk,
exactly.
We can talk about Nikki.
Exactly.
We'll talk about
yeah.
K Conte too.
Yeah. You
Jamie
know?
Hayter.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you
I know.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But Bliss in there.
Go throw one in there. Go ahead.
I'm just sitting here in shock of like,
Tony Storm.
I don't want to start this early, but like of how much I'm agreeing
Tony Storm.
with the Bret Hart fan in the Maple Leafs jersey over what your opinion. I thought I was going to be arguing with this guy the whole time,
You'll get there.
and he's my friend in this podcast.
You'll get there.
You're about to
You'll
get sainted.
And you guys are just spitting ridiculousness, childish
Are we,
dreams
though?
of. I think so. I think they are childish. I mean, you want to see a Rhodes in WWE? That brings me back to my childhood.
This
Just
is the
speaking
beauty of
childish
this
dreams.
Cody Rhodes
You
thing.
motherfuckers have a better chance of seeing Goldust show back up on WWE than Cody Rhodes ever.
That is
coming
the only
back.
gripe I have. The Rhodes name is not in WWE. It's in WCW. It is not in WWE.
It is.
It is not.
But WCW is owned by WWE.
I understand that,
don't-
but like
You know what we mean, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't-
Yeah, and Ring of Honor is owned by AEW, but
Exactly.
doesn't mean AJ Styles is owned by AEW.
well, not yet.
Partly.
He just got to sign a nice fat contract. AJ did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did because they.
It's like $3 million, some shit.
AJ's
like
having one of the decent matches at WrestleMania.
that. Sure is.
Edge.
Edge.
Yep.
Look at you coming around on Edge there.
I mean, Age.
It's the
You could
change the
put
team needs to come.
AJ could have a fuck. He's one of those guys like Rollins who you put him in the ring with a fucking
Yeah.
broomstick. It'll be an amazing match.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like Another wrestler I'm a fan of.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
No, sir. We got another Shawn Michaels fan in the house. You're outnumbered 3-1 now.
Wow.
Guys,
Sorry, pal.
he's fine. Don't get me wrong.
He's the fucking GOAT.
He's
You
not
know what's the
fine.
best
He's a
part of the
sexy
new game,
boy,
by the
for
way?
one.
Is Shawn Michaels being the bald fuck face that he is
Whoa.
in the new game, and like that's how you start with your
This
career.
is who you're riding
Thank
with.
you.
This is who you're riding with right now.
I mean, everything else was correct until I mean, listen, a broken clock's right at least twice a day. So, I mean, he got off to a good start. He slipped up with the Shawn Michaels stuff, but I'll let him redeem himself because you've been smart thus far.
Thus far, yeah.
But that's how you started the new game. Well, if you take it the way I took it.
That glitchy game that everyone fucking loves so much.
Glitchy. Did you have any glitches in your game?
I didn't get it.
Oh,
You
no?
played it
I haven't
already?
played any.
No. I just saw some hate on it on Twitter, and I just like
There was
hating
some
on
hate.
it.
Yeah, I
What?
didn't see any of
There's
that.
hate on everything on Twitter.
Yeah,
that's why I'm
true.
there.
Get off there.
No, it's fun sometimes.
That game is great.
I have to buy a PlayStation just to
It's
I
fire.
feel like I have to now just
It's
for
fire.
the WWE game.
I'm loving it. I'm not a big. I said it before. Not that I don't like him, but he's just not in my top 5. I'm not a big Mysterio fan, but it's cool. It's refreshing. His showcase is dope. We're gonna jump right into WWE 2K because there's not a lot of WWE news this week. The Cody Rhodes rumors is just still going.
Very stagnant. I just don't like how, I don't know if I already said this, but like he's going to show up in what? They're going to have 2 weeks of feuds? Like,
They're
showing up.
get it.
at this point.
That's the only gripe I have with it. I want. I mean,
No, me
obviously I'm on
too.
your
Yeah,
side with it,
yeah. But I think
I figured this shit
where
out.
WWE, and we'll get to whatever the fuck.
No.
this game's
You
about.
know what's gonna happen?
What?
It's Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, WrestleMania. That's where Stone Cold comes out and kicks Kevin Owens' ass, and then Shawn Michaels he gets him with a stunner, and then he goes and finishes him off with a curb stomp, and then that's how
Shawn
he goes-
Michaels does that?
Yeah. Yeah, you almost said Shawn Michaels.
Stone Cold.
because Shawn
What?
Michaels is really in your heart and
He
on your
is.
mind at all
He's
times,
on your mind,
like
yeah.
everybody else.
Because I'm trying to get into 2K. You guys are still stuck on WWE.
All right, so back to NBA
Where the-
2K.
Yeah. No. So the Cody Rhodes rumors are still running wild. I think any outcome out of all of our opinions would be fire for the fans. However,
Yeah.
where WWE is gonna stump the shit out of people and Cody Rhodes is, I think Cody Rhodes just at this point, because they only have 2 weeks now, he just shows up at Mania. There's not gonna be any hype building up to it. You know, there was a lot of people in the internet wrestling community on Twitter who were people who I seen who I know don't even watch wrestling weekly in terms of WWE, because who does nowadays? They were watching Raw in hopes that he would be on, and there was a lot of
Same.
people
I turned on Raw for
disappointed.
the first time in 6, 7, 8 months, maybe.
Because, right, one thing we could all agree on here is if you're going to have him at Mania, where's the hype?
Right.
So you're watching,
Give me a little bit.
expecting him to come on.
I mean,
I guess it's a reason to buy Mania.
for sure. I mean, the pop would be crazier if there
Ridiculous.
was no hype, though. If you didn't bring him out at all the prior weeks to WrestleMania. So I feel like if you guys were gonna be correct and he was gonna show up at WrestleMania, I don't think they would, play it out through the month. I think they would let the pop happen at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
think
mean?
so.
Would be
That's
the
what I think.
biggest.
That's what I think.
Do we
and
think
I'll
he-
be satisfied with
Do we
it.
think the crowd is going to pop for him? Or do they think it's
Hell
going to be
yeah.
a huge boo?
He would get more love in WWE probably than he does in AEW. To be honest with you,
Yeah, he would.
In my
No,
opinion.
you're
Probably-
100%
yeah,
right.
he probably would. Yeah, you're right.
If
You're
he-
100%
If he
right.
stayed away for another and then came back to AEW, he probably still is not going to get a pop. Nobody.
Not as big as the WWE one.
No, not even
If
at
he
all.
comes back to
I don't
AEW
see him
right
getting
now,
any pop
Because
at
there's
AEW.
been so, my boy Hollywood George is right. Because at the end of the day, Cody's done so much of this, I'm leaving, I'm coming back, I'm leaving, coming
Right.
back thing with AEW, that at this point,
Who gives a fuck?
You know who else has done
if
that,
he
though?
comes back after
Not
all
who
of
gives a
this,
fuck, but,
Boys, you know who else has done that?
Brian Pillman?
MJF.
yeah,
but
but
that
MJF
wasn't-
is MJF.
Exactly. It's
That's not-
I'm
That's
just saying,
until-
they both
Isn't that
play the
sad
same
to
game.
say? Like
That's not
MJF
until
is-
2024.
It's crazy
It's
because
better
Cody
than a
Rhodes
Rhodes.
has long.
It's
Yeah,
just like-
yep.
I mean, listen. I
the
unless he
younger
comes
guy.
back as a heel, it's not gonna. Nobody
It's not-
wants
it's not gonna
babyface
be-
Cody
yeah.
Rhodes. Nobody
It
wants.
and it won't be like you said, it won't be an initial pop. It'll just be later on. It'd be like, I really appreciate Cody Rhodes as a heel.
Yeah, and he's done his little he goes through the heel tunnel at some and done all those things and try to drop a little, but never got around to going heel. And it's like then you just left, and I can't see him leaving on that note and going to WWE, leaving on a note where everybody hated you. Really, let's be honest. I mean,
his last match was on Superstars against Ryder
Yeah.
as Stardust.
Stardust.
so
And is there a major heel in AEW? And I mean,
MJF?
like, yes, MJF is like a heel, but he's the heel you love to hate. But is there
But
a
MJF
fucking
goes the
legit
extra
heel?
mile. I see what you're saying, but MJF does go. We got to give him credit because he goes the extra mile to make sure everyone hates him. If
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
somebody in the crowd cheering for him,
Right.
or there's
yeah.
people on TV or some in the hometown or the home crowd or whatever, he's gonna make sure there's some fucking reason.
Yep.
If he finds out, like, my God forbid, my mom had cancer or something, if I'm cheering him, he's gonna fucking go at that.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
which is the way it should be.
Yeah.
MJF will be in the top 5 for T-shirt sales and scarf sales and whatever. But what about that heel who has that legit heat?
That people legit. I see what you're saying.
A close second would be Adam Cole, I guess. He's definitely more.
But he has that catchphrase and people love that shit.
I
That's
feel like
true.
they loved it more in WWE than AEW. AEW, Adam Cole is more of a true heel version of a heel.
He does
than,
have he's got Britt Baker and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, and WWE was kind of like
It was
the
just
heel
'cause it
you
was bigger.
love. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like again, R.I.P. Like a Scott Hall, like a Razor Ramon. He's a heel, but you love him. You know what I mean? That's how I thought of Adam Cole in
Yeah.
WWE.
I see what Gary's saying though, because of the fact that people were legitimate, and you touch on this too. Hollywood George, got to get used to that.
I winked behind my glasses just so you for the camera.
Kayfabe.
Cody Rhodes, people were fucking hating on him before he bounced.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah.
Hard.
Yep.
So
You're right.
we'll see. WWE 2K, I personally have not gone through any of the glitch stuff that I've been reading online.
I haven't.
Phenomenal game. Gary's gone through it a little more. I am breaking down the gameplay still when it comes to like singles and tag competition and all that, which so far has been stellar.
Yeah, you have a multiplayer.
Aside
play
from
with.
that,
Is it true that you can't do multiple matches like 6-man, 8-man?
yeah, you can.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber,
The other
everything.
thing that I've been
No, or like I thought it was only in like GM mode. You can't do stuff. You can't. You can only
Correct.
do. Okay.
In
the other
GMO, you
thing-
can't do anything other than a one-on-one and a
See,
tag team.
that's so weird. though.
before Gary dissects a little more, the other thing that I can say personally that I've tried was the showcase mode. Again, not a big. I'm not to say that I don't love him. He's probably in my top 15, maybe 20. Rey Mysterio's showcase mode. Always
high.
love the showcase. Not always, but this is one of those years where it hits. The first one was to unlock Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, was it?
For
really?
those who don't know, the showcase mode, I don't know what they called it before, is you play whoever's on the cover of the game that year, whatever the theme is. The last one
the main guy.
the last one I remember was WWE 13 with Punk on the cover,
yep.
and they did Attitude Era.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you played a bunch of Attitude
That was a
Eras
good
to
one.
unlock Attitude Era guys.
Yep, I remember that was fun.
You play as Mysterio, and you unlock. The first one I did was to unlock Eddie Guerrero and Starcade.
Oh, the Halloween Havoc match.
Halloween Havoc.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes.
So it
Nice.
was
The mask
Good
match.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie, Halloween Havoc, and Rey Mysterio's attire from Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, that's a dope.
And all the rest of them look dope. There was the one with Sean with that match he had with him on a Monday Night Raw randomly. which
Oh,
was
yeah.
It was
amazing.
the Eddie Guerrero tribute match. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes, that's right.
Orton at WrestleMania 20. Who would he? No, he
I haven't
didn't
got that
wrestle
far yet.
21.
22. It was Orton and Angle at 22.
It was 21. It was 21. I don't know who. It
21.
wasn't 22. It was 21.
Oh, you're right.
Is it
you're
Kurt
right.
Angle and?
You're right. It was 21
Yeah. So it's Angle, and I'm assuming you
Angle-
unlock Angle, maybe a
yeah.
younger Orton,
probably.
because it's Orton and it was a triple threat.
Triple threat. Yeah.
So it's cool. You unlock certain arenas. You unlock certain wrestlers who are involved in the thing. I'm loving the Rey Mysterio stuff. He's got like 6 tires to unlock in that whole game.
Of course he does.
6 or 7, which is crazy.
He could have a lot more too.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that. Yeah,
All those
you-
masks
they
and
could have
shit.
went crazy with it.
Yeah.
Tell us about, because I haven't gotten into it yet. I'm dissecting the other stuff, GM mode and all the other stuff.
Yeah. GM mode is it's all right. It was all right on the easy mode, but man, things get repetitive after a while. If you're not booking your people into like Extreme Rules and Hell in a Cell matches every week, you're not winning.
Which is like an AEW thing to do.
It was 22.
Pretty much.
Are you mad at that?
I mean,
though?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's just funny that's how
But
they
there
make
hasn't
it
been
work
like
in the game.
You can't even do a triple threat match.
Yeah.
You can't do a fatal 4-way. You can't do
So it's only singles matches.
Singles
on
or
a triple
tags.
match. Oh wow, all right.
right, but then you can throw like a table match.
What do you do
or
with the pay-per-views then? Is the same thing.
But you get like a bonus for doing like
Maybe that's the one
a
flaw the
TLC
game
match
has.
at a TLC pay-per-view.
That's the one flaw the game has then probably. It's a big one.
I would yeah, I think it's
It was WrestleMania 22. I decided to double check.
thanks.
So who was at 21 then?
Hold on.
I think who did Rey Mysterio wrestle at 21?
Sean
20 was Matt Hardy. 21,
was 20 Matt Hardy? I thought 19 was Matt Hardy.
19 was
19
Matt Hardy
was Matt
for
Hardy.
the
Yes, you're
Intercontinental
correct. Yes,
Championship.
you're correct. Cruiserweight.
Cruiserweight.
Yeah,
Cruiserweight.
yeah, because Matt Hardy was like working out with Shannon Moore and doing all that shit.
Yes.
To get
The
to,
other
like,
North
219.
Carolina. Those are like
Yeah.
that's the only other North Carolina wrestler I know aside from
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair, obviously.
21 he fought against Eddie.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
it. So
That was the
maybe,
second level
So
of the
you
pay-per-view
unlocked
in the-
another Eddie. There's two unlockable
Yep.
Eddies in the game. That's dope.
Yeah, you get the WCW Eddie and then you get the WWE Eddie.
Yeah.
And then that's the
fire.
end of that. I thought for sure we were getting the Dominic on a ladder match.
Yeah.
Thought for sure we were getting
But
that.
that's a
And that's how you unlock
PG WWE. I don't know if that's a very
What's that?
the custody of Dominic.
Yeah.
That's a very like
do you remember that?
edgy. That was a very edgy.
I
Rey
remember
Mysterio
watching
storyline.
that and being like, "What? Like this is so weird."
Yeah.
Like I told you, I watched wrestling when it was not that it was very good, but like the storylines were just weird. I mean, the
Who's the
Dominic?
writers back then?
I don't know. That's good. That's a good question. I mean, the custody over the kid, Katie Vick.
Katie Vick and the custody were like 20 years apart.
No, they were not.
What do you mean they were?
Katie Vick was 2004-3.
What?
Yes, because it was Kane in the Mask.
Yes.
Wow, this guy's on top of his shit.
I thought it was
Yeah,
like
he is. No, he is.
94 for the Keenan.
It's either me or him. This
No, yeah, that's
no.
why
Gary had a very
Sorry.
Gary took 4
yeah,
years
there's
off
only-
wrestling, and
there's-
apparently that's it.
no.
I mean-
Yeah, it's true. Gary didn't watch wrestling when wrestling was a little questionable.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm
who-
not watching WWE right
took it
now,
up
and
for
there
that.
might be somebody in a couple years who's like, "Go, you didn't watch it then," and I'm like,
Probably, yeah, probably. I guarantee you. In a
I'm
couple
sorry,
years,
boys. College did not have much going on for cable TV. So no, I did not watch it
yeah,
during those
you're right.
years.
You have
I'm
a
just,
good
I'm just saying,
excuse.
watching like 5 or 6 years, people are gonna be praising those years when I'm like, really?
I'm glad you mentioned the Raw thing earlier because the past year, I'm gonna be honest with you. The only time I turned on Raw was for the 30 minutes that Charlotte Flair had a match, and then I shut it off.
"Yeah."
I'd watch SmackDown on Friday, and that.
Well, what did I tell you about coming on here? You asked me like you told me like I've been listening. I don't watch a lot of WWE, and I told you the first thing I told you was, "Yo, if you notice, we don't really watch WWE."
Yeah, because I mean, you
Skim
guys
Twitter
are
and
right.
you pretty much get everything that happened.
all the
You
cool
go on
stuff is
Instagram
history.
and there's BR Wrestling is gonna have the one WWE moment of the week.
Yep, they are.
Shout out to BR Wrestling. It's a cool outlet because if there's something popping, obviously it's going there. But WWE will have like one moment on there a week, and it's fucking dreadful. And some of it has been NXT 2.0. I've been making that point. I'm gonna check it out, see what it's about.
You haven't watched not one episode of NXT
No.
2.0
You?
yet? Yeah, because of one word. Well, it's two. It's a name, Braun Breaker.
Oh,
But
I thought it was Dolph Ziggler.
The stuff I
No,
see
I
with
mean- I mean, well,
that's
he's
one of the
in a
guys
feud
that
with
that's
Braun
one of the
Breaker right
that's
now.
one of the guys that make me want to watch.
but there's like the
The
first
Ketas-
day I saw him,
Are you
I
a
was
big
like,
Braun fan?
the reason.
Well,
I'm a big
That's one
Braun
of the
fan
reasons that
because
we'll
I was a big
discuss later.
Steiner fan, and the first I remember the first night Braun was on NXT, I looked at the TV and I'm like, this guy looks like Rick Steiner, and
Sure
like,
is.
and then I heard people barking in the crowd, and I'm like, I need to Google this now. I'm like, and I Googled it, and I'm like, it is Rick Steiner's kid. I'm like, it's his son. Like
Yep.
I'm like, well, I get why they don't use the Steiner name because of Scott, but I mean.
Yeah, that's true. Scott did a lot to the name that kind of
Yeah,
messed it up. But I do. But like he, like you just said, he is undeniably a Steiner.
Yeah,
Just-
oh
just
yeah.
give him the name.
He even did the Frankensteiner at
Yeah,
one of the
sure he did.
NXT. Was it against Tommaso Ciampa or was it? Yeah. But I mean, for a guy that size to even hit something like that is,
I'm telling you that
and the throwback move. Well, you know what I mean,
the power slam he does or the whatever that he's smooth. It's insane.
To close out the WWE talk,
Maybe that's who Seth was.
NXT.
Will face at Mania.
NXT 2.0
Maybe.
to sell the new brand They need to do, because we were just talking about this before the podcast, they need to do another North American tour.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Would you go?
I would go, yeah.
I would go.
I would give it a fair shot.
Oh yeah, I would. If
NXT,
if
when
tickets
we
were
went,
cheap-
was red hot. Don't get me wrong. They had Samoa Joe. They had Finn Balor. They had
They had all of
It's not
AEW,
like
basically.
that. I mean,
they had Andrade.
Shinsuke.
Yes.
oh, I love
That was
him.
Andrade before he was really
Yeah.
Andrade though. Well, he did the little rope thing and it was fucking great.
Me and Gary were sweating him, bro. Like,
Yes,
I was like, this
same.
dude's a fucking
So
animal.
We did
underutilized in
everything
AEW.
to get
So
a
underutilized.
handshake from that dude.
I think he's gonna have his time. The thing with AEW, which we talk about weekly, and we'll get into it now. Smooth segue. A little, not now, but there's potential for it to get overcrowded.
I
It's
mean,
overcrowded now.
and people say that, but like, in what sense when you think of like
I
most
don't
of
think
these
so,
people came
personally.
from WWE, and WWE has the people they have now plus the people that went to AEW. So why were they not overcrowded?
Yeah, and WWE, which we touched on last week, and this is the last WWE thing I'll fucking say, is WrestleMania. They still have the guys that they have, and WrestleMania, half of WrestleMania is celebrity matches,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's,
true.
It's just
which is
like
fucking insane.
It's insane. It's probably the first time since WrestleMania. What, one?
that
Really?
you've
That
had.
it's
There's
been
like
this many?
3+. Yeah.
Like it's
Since the
it's-
golden era.
Pat
Right.
McAfee,
Oh God, I don't understand.
Johnny
that.
Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville, and then you have
Logan fucking Paul.
Logan Paul.
And there will absolutely be more later.
Machine Gun Kelly's
has
coming
to-
in there somewhere.
Who?
Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, true. He will
yeah.
be.
That's
Yep.
Seth Rollins' match.
Someone has to sing the national anthem. Might be fucking Machine Gun Kelly for Christ's sake.
yeah.
Can he sing?
I doubt it.
I guess we'll find out.
If you listen, if you play the new
find out.
WWE game, you hear him a lot.
Apparently, he's a Grammy. He won a Grammy for his rock album or some stupid shit.
It was not that good.
It was not that bad.
It was not that. It was. It
it
was
was
not
right
that.
in the middle.
It's not that bad.
Oh, all right.
There was one song that was
My Ex's
I'll say
Best
it's
Friend?
catchy. Yeah, that was
a fun
pretty-
song.
That was pretty catchy. I'll give you that. To piggyback on also agreeing with Gary, I will come on this starting the AEW talk and say I am reversing a take that I now agree with Gary that I think Jeff Hardy will be a big draw to AEW because not only is the ex WWE guy high. I mean, first of all, I know you said you didn't watch this week, but while Matt was in the match, they were chanting "We want Jeff" in the crowd. That and the whole, I think him,
Poor Matt.
especially after the WWE stuff with how they try to make it seem like he was off the wagon again, and him clearly not. Hopefully, if everything is smooth, because that's why by the drug test that they made fun of it on BT, which was kind of funny. But anyway, it's a good story. I think it's really like it could kind of like show other people that are in recovery like, hey, if he can fucking do it, so can you.
I
think
respect
that's-
that.
Hey, Jimmy, let me also
I
throw a
think-
second question out there, right? What was Hangman Page's first title in AEW?
Tag team.
Okay. What Gary did to you last week was throw a little bit of fucking fairy dust up your ass.
He might have, yeah.
Okay.
I felt something.
The crowd chanted, "We want Jeff," because they already see enough of Matt. So, of course, if you fucking throw anyone from the outside, let's throw a fucking whatever, R-Truth. If you throw
What's up?
R-Truth
Start
in a
over, start
tag
over.
team AEW match, the crowd is going to chant for R-Truth to get
No,
tagged
they're
in.
not.
No,
They're
they're
smart.
stretch.
No, they'll chant for Ron Killens.
My point is,
They'll
all right,
transfer Lionel Johnny.
I'm a big exaggerator. I you know
Little
what I mean?
Jimmy.
R-Truth was
I
a
don't
big
care.
stretch.
It's a big
I
stretch.
get what you're
you get what
saying,
I'm
but-
saying? I just like to get dramatic
You
and
are
exaggerate.
right. You are
Yeah.
correct, but I also feel like Jeff Hardy is still going to be successful in AEW.
I'm not saying he's not, but what
On the independent-
now he's
On an independent level,
following
yes, I
him.
believe so eventually.
Let's also not forget, Matt can't wrestle
You
anymore.
went as far as to say that Jeff Hardy is let's
Going
let's
to
throw
compete.
Hollywood George into this. That he's gonna win he's gonna compete for an AEW championship.
That's,
Well, why not? If
I
Christian
still don't.
did, why
I still
not?
don't think that it will happen. No.
So I remember the episode of AEW where CM Punk debuted, and he basically said, "I'm not here to not win the heavyweight championship." So which he still hasn't got a storyline for that yet. But it's
I
like,
think he'll be a heel, but we'll talk about that another
when
time.
are these? They gave a shot to Christian, but like, and John Moxley held the heavyweight championship. But like, are they gonna go future and start giving it to the younger guys, or are they gonna? Because personally, I want to see the old former WWE wrestlers getting shots at the championships. And to elaborate on the overcrowdedness of AEW, to backtrack a little bit, do you guys all feel that you think it would be less overcrowded if they had maybe 1 or 2 more titles?
I don't think adding titles would that would
at all?
be that.
Don't
no.
add titles.
Don't add titles.
And this is what I've been saying for the last couple weeks, and I don't know if you agree. Don't add titles, and please do not do a brand split.
Yeah,
I think if anything-
Brand split, I can, but just one named after the TV station, and then the heavyweight championship. You don't think there should be one more title?
There's already a
There's the
TBS
tag
and a
titles.
TNT.
There's
The
so
TBS
much
and the
talent.
TNT. I understand what you're saying, but I think that the argument that I make here is that it keeps the hunger aspect of AEW, where
Yeah.
everyone's clawing and scratching at one title, the world one, and then the TNT one, and then in the women's it's TBS and the women's, and then the tag titles.
This week alone on Dynamite, great TNT match between Scorpio Sky and Wardlow.
Yep.
Phenomenal steel
Good
cage
match,
match
good
between
match.
Thunder Rosa
And the reason
Britt
why
Baker.
and to add on to that, the thing that makes it work in AEW, which you know because he's also a big AEW fan.
Huge.
Excellent.
The titles are on the line every week.
Yes.
One title is on the line every week. That's what makes it work.
least.
It's not like it's WWE where you wait for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a pay-per-view for the title to change hands. But I mean, I just want to say that what will be the downfall of AEW in my eyes is how, where some would say they're overpopulated right now, but what that is going to lead into is, do you give the title shots and the good storylines to the veterans, or do you try to get these rookies off the ground because this is the future of your company? And I feel like if you added another title, maybe you could kind of separate the two in the sense of you got the veterans everybody loves to see, you got the old WWE fans that you draw into AEW, and then you have the, you're showcasing your new talent with, those guys can compete for the heavyweight championship, or they could be scratching for the top every week. But
I think the pattern of AEW has been every now and then you give the AEW title, you give an AEW title, whether it's the TNT or the World, every now and then you give it to a vet, somebody who hasn't gotten something like that in a while, and then you end up giving it to a younger guy. Right now it's Hangman. Before it was Kenny. Kenny's a vet. He might not be a former WWE guy.
He's absolutely a vet.
Before him, it was Moxley.
A vet.
Vet,
now.
but somebody
Jericho.
like a younger guy from WWE that
True.
deserved it. You know what I mean?
100%.
Before that, Vet Jericho,
Vet.
the first.
smart
Yep.
to start them off as the
Yes. So I think the next guy with the pattern, maybe the next guy will be a former guy. In my perfect world, which Gary, I know you'll automatically agree, Punk. Hopefully, if they're gonna give it to the next veteran guy who deserves it, give it to Punk.
Yeah.
One more farewell championship. Let it be a heel run. But we're going down rabbit holes here. To answer
Punk
you,
doesn't need it though.
he doesn't
Punk has
need it.
so much.
But what I'm saying
behind
is,
him.
I agree with you. But what I'm saying, and
It would be
this is
fun.
where
Deserves it,
I
It would
feel
be-
the same
it
way
would be
about the
fun.
Jeff Hardy situation. These guys don't need it. Punk would,
But you know what? It helps. It helps to make other guys legitimate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
if Jeff
Yeah.
goes into a match with Adam Cole,
Baby.
right? Adam Cole is the champ. Jeff Hardy's going for it.
I don't think
How
he'll
much does
never
it
get a title
increase-
shot, but I don't think it'll be like a big. It'll be
It
like
will
a
be a
random
big thing.
AEW. Like, oh,
It'll be a
Jeff's
program.
Gonna be.
It'll be a program.
You think it'll be a big story?
I don't know. It'll be a fucking all-in kind of thing.
I don't know
But I
about
think
I
Jeff
think it'll
Hardy,
be on a random Dynamite or
no,
something.
Jeff Hardy will make a good program for Adam Cole. Adam Cole will do some villainous
Will he, though?
heel shit.
How-
which is great
how-
because Jeff Hardy will never be a heel. He's always going to be a beloved face that everyone's going to be behind, and it's going to make Adam Cole such a good heel champ to go over Jeff Hardy.
Well,
I
I'm
can
sorry
only
I
hope.
agreed with you earlier. Now I feel like an idiot.
Or you know what? Cody Rhodes. It's going to be Cody Rhodes taking
we're
the
back
title
to
away
that
from
now.
Hangman Hayes.
All right. Now you're just being a dick.
Well, he can't, right?
Why not?
Because he's never allowed to challenge for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship again.
It's true. He's not. Well,
I thought it was only when Moxley
No.
was the champ.
Nope. It's
Ever?
It was
Ever
it was he lost against Jericho.
Yep.
And the stipulation was he either
great.
wins it
so,
or
I guess Stardust comes back and challenges.
Get the fuck.
Grow up.
slick
outta here.
move.
Grow up.
It's
there.
just Cody.
Slick
Cody drops
move.
the Rhodes name.
The Rhodes. Wow.
He works so
Are
hard
you-
to get it back, he drops it.
yeah, he
that-
works so
that's
hard
it.
to get it back, so he goes to WWE.
He goes.
That
He
makes
goes
sense.
to WB.
Not
and
only
then,
do you
then they
look
buy
like
it
a bearded
again.
Vince Russo, but you write like him too. I love it. Cody Rhodes comes back to
accurate.
drop the name.
This is the third time this week I've been compared to someone.
Drops
I
the
don't like
Rhodes
this.
name to challenge for the title. That is some Vince
A
Russo
bearded
101
Vince
writing
Russo.
right there.
I love that.
Oh my God, a bearded Vince Russo.
That's actually a compliment, to be honest.
That's
with
gonna
you.
be a clip. I,
mean, that-
don't know, man.
That's what WWE is missing right now. Vince has
Vince Russo.
volunteered to come back, so
No, Vince Russo does not belong
Still
in
got a lot over
any
the years.
wrestling company. Any.
would you rather Russo or McMahon?
Russo. I mean, my left nut over McMahon, but at this point,
Yeah, I mean,
Can I shoot myself in the face?
Please do.
Okay.
the AEW highlight this week was Thunder Rosa winning the AEW
Can we talk about how-
Women's Championship.
How good that new belt looks too.
It looks
Oh,
amazing.
so
It
classic.
looks so good.
It looks amazing. I'm surprised. I thought Britt Baker was. You made the comment at the shop earlier. She used
Yeah.
You made a very, very good comment at the shop. Very good comparison. That she was She was AEW's Roman Reigns this past
no,
year.
you made that comment.
Jimmy complimenting himself.
I went a
What a
little-
surprise.
I said she is. No, I said she's the Charlotte Flair of AEW. Is what I said.
Okay.
And actually, I think I spoke.
Maybe I took it a step further, but it's
You did.
We both
because
made
you're
some
a huge
accurate.
Roman Reigns guy.
Yeah, I'm a big Roman Reigns guy.
I mean, she is. Oh no, I did. You're right because I said she held it for so long.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, she almost.
Well, fuck. Shawn Michaels guys, connecting and shit.
I mean, we are goats, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah,
When you idolize
goats,
goats, that's what happens,
You can't help it.
Guys, you are idolizing the wrong kind of goats. You are like the Ba. That's what you guys are idolizing.
It is. I said the wrong thing, huh? Goat is blah. Blah, blah. It's not ba. Ba is sheep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're correct.
It's the wrong animal, but still goat.
Close
Shawn
enough.
Michaels, same thing.
No.
Tomato, tomato.
Thank you.
What's not tomato, tomato is Shawn and Bret Hart. That match should have never happened all the times it did, but it did. But it's fine. Sometimes, you got to
Well,
put
if you
people
play
over.
the GM mode, then you know that the technical wrestler versus the specialist matches up well, and that works.
Okay. I'm
But yeah,
surprised
Let me
Britt
also go
dropped
back.
the title.
Yeah, that match made me a fan of Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Wow, it took you that long?
You
yeah,
were
I don't
not
know
a fan
why.
of Britt Baker?
Yeah,
She was
Yeah, he's got some questionable
she
chase.
was like right on the fence for me, but that put me over the line. I think.
Did you not watch the lights out match they had last year?
On
Yeah,
the
and that was a good
fence.
match.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm flabbergasted. I have no other word for it.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted.
she's been
a good word.
fine, but like she just hasn't had that like thing that's really put it over the top for me. But this match did. I think her selling of like the cage and like being terrified of the cage, that really helped because otherwise she's just been flat. Like
She's been flat.
Flat. Slammed on thumbtacks flat.
that. See, I understand why I
Legendary.
I feel like anytime you give
Legendary,
a
like-
I'm
Britt
sorry.
Baker.
We're talking
She's not
about
legendary.
She is.
She's not.
the number one
not yet.
You know what's
voted women's
Yeah.
professional wrestler of the year.
Not on AEW. It's not like it's
PWI.
fucking
That's right.
PWI.
But yeah, I mean, they get pissed about you. Remember when Kenny Omega won and Roman Reigns was pissed?
Yep.
So clearly that matters to them. Being number one, number two, number three.
And it should.
I mean, that's your profession, right? You want to be at the top of your game for a barber. You want to be the coach of the Maple Leafs. I mean, everybody has a dream.
I wouldn't want that. Fucking
Everybody
job,
has a
man.
dream.
Mine was to be on the podcast. I shot low, and I succeeded.
That's what you got to do.
Did he just say coming
I mean,
on
it's-
our
it's-
podcast is shooting low?
It's a great podcast, but I mean, it's not. I don't
it's
work for Bill
because
Gates.
you come
in
on
that
here
sense.
every week in that fucking
And shit on
jersey.
In that
everything.
jersey.
Yeah.
and I just couldn't stand it anymore.
And it's and somehow you always surprise me every time you come on when you say some shit like Britt Baker is fucking. Bitch.
It's like whenever
I
you
literally just said I became a fan of her.
It's like
And
when
now
It
you
doesn't
guys-
matter. You should have been a fan of her.
She was
Yeah,
fine. She was fine.
You sound like one of those teachers from Charlie Brown when you talk. It's just womp, womp, womp,
Fine.
womp, womp. You
I
know?
wish that mask
And
covered your
he's
mouth.
he's a cartoon character. Every
He's a
week he
goddamn
wears the
cartoon
same
character.
shit.
Listen, when I shave my pubes and I get an ingrown hair, I tell myself things will be fine.
You get pubes? That's weird.
I remember my first joke. So, anyways, Britt Baker is
Waiting for you to tell it.
phenomenal. Phenomenal. Way more than fine. Okay,
She's fine.
I can't believe you should be a writer because the ups and downs you're giving me on this one episode is fucking bananas.
Baker's
It's
fine.
bananas.
She's more than fine now.
It's like I love the kid, I hate the kid, I don't know what to. And then I look at the
She
jersey, I'm like, oh yeah,
missed
remember
her
who you're talking to.
entire like the selling aspect of her of like being a wrestler was missed by her this entire time. And this
Gary's-
is what happened.
Gary every week is like the WWE. You watch him and you hope for the fucking
The
best.
best.
But you're
You see
just
the
disappointed
potential,
every single time.
And every single time, some shit happens. Every now and then, you get a little bit of,
Ooh,
oh my
okay,
God.
right, yeah.
He's
Brock
coming
Lesnar
along.
just came back. Fuck. I fucking love the product again. And then Monday Night Raw comes the next week, and you're like, fuck.
That's when you like the
This
product is
shit-
when Brock Lesnar comes back.
Brock Lesnar's
Recently,
a top 5.
yeah, it made it great again. You know what I mean? Brock versus Roman. If he didn't come back, what would you have?
I guess I
It's
was
funny
wrong
how you
about.
can shit over to like WWE guys coming back all the time, and then you're like, "Oh yeah, I love when that WWE guy comes back."
We
Fuck
have been
you.
doing that a lot.
Because you appreciate
trying to
that.
transition and we
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
transition.
It's
we
fine.
keep going
It
back
happens.
to WWE.
This is a chaotic podcast.
It's very
I don't
chaotic.
think on point ever.
No, ever.
People online were complaining about the stunner, which was a little, it was
What, with
it was
Owens?
a little mid. No, Thunder Rosa in the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa match.
Yes.
I am personally not a fan of the whole use of other people's moves. I never have been. I don't like it. WWE is a fucking king of it.
Yeah.
I was gonna really cancel WWE when Seth Rollins went from curb stomp to pedigree.
Pedigree.
That stunner that Thunder Rosa did was just awful.
I feel like I don't remember it, but that.
The match itself,
Oh,
that's the one thing
I
that
just
I was
remember
looking
the
at.
stunner.
Yeah.
I remember the match. I remember
you
Britt
pull up the
falling.
Pull up the stunner.
Yeah.
I remember Britt falling on the chairs, which looked brutal as hell.
She's
Yeah,
And then when Thunder Rosa got body slammed onto the chairs, that looked brutal as hell.
I missed that part.
Yeah, that like Britt had her on her back, second rope, and it's fucking.
You know what? Like that really stands out from that match was Aubrey Edwards counting the pin in the thumbtacks.
Oh, and the thumbtacks.
Yeah.
She posted after that. She had like a bunch of
I
like
missed that.
of like marks on her arm. Yeah.
shout out to Aubrey Edwards. Too.
Yeah.
She's great.
Great, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's one of the things I really love about AEW like live is how in love with Aubrey the fans are.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
She gets more chance than anything.
She's the best.
The
Yeah.
refs in general in AEW just get more like,
Yeah.
which is nice because it's like they are also a part of the match. Like
Yeah.
WWE, I feel like the ref is there to not be in the picture. Like there was a point where like they were told to not even be on camera. In certain like captures, whatever. And I just don't understand that because that's part of wrestling. That's part of it's part of the show.
yeah.
But
I mean, the WWE referees, I only can think of like 3.
right, I can't even think of any right now.
Earl Hebner,
Well,
Not there anymore.
yeah,
Mike Chioda,
not there anymore.
and I lied and can only think of 2. I mean, because they don't stick out. They just, you're right, they don't. They're made, other than those 2 guys, they kind of made. Actually, who's little Nate over there?
Yeah.
Still
blanking
going
on-
strong.
Chioda.
He's still going strong.
Yeah. No.
No, that's Little Nature's. You're gonna have to hit the Google again.
Yeah.
We live in the internet era, might as
I
well.
feel like I should know
Little
this.
Nate is the
Charles
What's his
Robinson.
Thank
Charles
you,
Robinson.
thank
Ah,
you.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
Yes.
and he's not even
Charles
really
Robinson.
a WW. He's originally a WCW referee.
Yes, he is.
So I mean, but
keep it going. I'm a fucking old man here.
no, it's all right. Whatever's.
I gotta take a piss.
Oh,
There
do
we
you?
go.
Oh,
That's
all
the
right. Okay.
Oh boy.
All
I
right.
was
Well,
confused.
you're gonna leave it to us 3.
Keep it going.
Yeah, plan on it. Rose,
Yo, you putting Gary in
Thunder
charge?
Rosa,
Walks in
I
front of
wanna
the camera.
play this.
Unprofessional bullshit.
Thunder, Rosa, Stunner.
You know, this is an audio podcast. They cannot see the videos, Gary. Right?
Right, but I want you to see the stunner.
Oh, okay.
It's not Force. Thunder Rosa.
Anyway, so AEW this week was very good. Yes. We can also talk about we finally got to see Wardlow almost put his hands on MJF,
Yes.
which I know a lot of people have been waiting for.
Yes.
I really would like them to start. Like, I feel like he's gonna have to go through Sean Spears first. I feel like FTR isn't really. I don't know if they're separating themselves from the Pinnacle. I feel like, but like a little bit, kind of like how Wheeler Yuta. Also, let's talk about that.
That was a good moment with William Regal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Wheeler Yuta might join Bryan and Moxley.
Hell yeah.
Because like
That was my moment of the week.
Oh, okay. Well, then there we go. There's another thing. Unfortunately, we agree on, but like I mean, it doesn't make sense for him to be in Best Friends anymore because Danhausen is here now. And Best Friends, nothing against Trent and Chucky and all them. I mean, I like them. I like that faction, but like they're a bit gimmicky. They're a little kind
It's a
of
mid-card
funny.
faction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm not saying that Wheeler Yuta can be higher than them, but like I feel like he just never really, not necessarily. He did fit to a degree, but like I feel like the way he wrestles, like
He's got talent.
he does. Yes, he's been here locally. Good. He's a springy boy, as I like to call him.
I know exactly. Yeah.
And
I can picture it in my head.
right.
Your verbiage.
Exactly. And I think that's a good addition to that faction since Daniel Garcia is a part of the Jericho Appreciation Society, which is kind of fun. A little Justice America League of Society.
I kind of hate the name so
totally just
much.
fucked
I don't
that up.
know why
Please
they
hate me, internet nerds. I am so sorry.
Jericho Appreciation Society, because you can't even really shorten it.
JAS, and it just sounds like a Legal Legion
Jazz,
of Doom.
dude, short it. Is it jazz or ja? How would you pronounce it?
Jazz.
Jazz.
And I do like that people aren't singing
Judas
Judas
anymore.
as much.
Yeah.
Not that I
Is
dislike
that something we can all agree on?
Probably. I mean, I didn't dislike
I mean,
it.
was
shout
fun
out,
singing it.
But
good
it's-
song. Just
It's not in this one.
It's had its run, I think.
it reminds me of
Go through the whole
what
thing.
almost.
What?
I love that Eddie Kingston
Right. Yeah.
was like, he's not even here, guys. Like, let's let it die. Yeah.
Right.
Gary's just not trusting me right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, he took this long.
This is the full match.
Do you know how to work a computer?
It's not the full match. That's where you're wrong. You're usually wrong though.
Yeah, he is.
That's fine.
At least it's consistent, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's 9 minutes of it.
How
long was the
It's not
match?
in there.
Probably
It happened before all the hardcore stuff stared happening.
Oh wait, Thunder
Before
Rosa
they
and
got
DMD
busted
with
open?
hardcore stuff. Let me check this out.
Were we adding Thunder Rosa? to the list
Thunder
of,
Rosa has like an
After hours?
OnlyFans type thing.
That's the
so-
wrong. That's a
Really?
podcast for after.
AW Dark. Oof.
That's
Okay.
our Patreon, right?
HBO coming soon.
Let's talk
I mean,
about
if Tay's in there.
let's talk about the legend. We love Thunder Rosa winning the title.
Sure do.
We love Britt Baker being the legend that she always was and passing the torch
And
like
always
a
will
legend
be.
would.
Yes. Yeah.
But I won't be mad if she wins it back next week.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
I
say
wouldn't do
that.
either. We love Britt Baker.
Yeah.
She's a legend.
It's just
She's
interesting to see
legendary.
what happens with the Adam Cole situation because of it. You know?
I'm gonna
Well,
tell
they
you.
can't both be world champions at the same time.
So does that mean Adam Cole is like
Well, why though? Why? Because wouldn't that be a storyline? Like
I
a
mean, it
mother,
could be.
like,
Yeah.
like I mean, come on.
It could be, yeah.
And that would be like you can bring them together, start a faction. Like I just can't. You know, maybe Jamie Hayter wins the TBS title from Jade Cargill. You start getting a little
not.
like
I love Jamie.
you know
Hayter.
those vibes
Sure
are like
love her.
old school DX vibes where everybody has
Do
a
you
title.
love her?
I
Or do
love
you
her.
Love her?
I'm in
No,
love with
she's
There we go.
she's great.
her. I'm in love with
right
her.
up there with
she
her.
looks like a James Bond villain.
She does.
I just have to say one female wrestler of AEW that I'm more of a fan of, not the wrestling, but just her. Sky Blue.
Then you and Gary will get.
My boy, yes.
I mean, dude, come on.
Yes. Yes.
I have a
Yes.
lot of things in my hand, but there's always time for the.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I could just like watch her come out and then change the channel and then just watch her like exit the arena and be happy with that.
She wrestled when we went to Connecticut.
Lucky you guys. Lucky
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Sky Blue.
Jamie Hayter
Sky
just
Blue.
makes
If you're watching the podcast, Hollywood George is single, and Gary
Give him
thinks
my boy.
Shawn Michaels is
Go
not
ahead.
the GOAT, so
Jamie Hader.
Sky, come over to Hollywood.
clearly.
If you watch the
better
podcast, you make
choice
me
here.
feel tingly.
I'm on your side.
Oh, all right. I appreciate it.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even he thinks I'm the better choice. So, Sky, please.
Oh shit!
Oh, he's married.
It's all good, but yeah.
I mean, that,
It's all you.
I guess. I mean, people do cheat.
Oh shit!
All right. Well, I think
Not live on
that's
podcast.
where we're at in the
If-
podcast. That's probably about it for the night.
If you were gonna, I would be Sky Blue. I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but it's not gonna be some random Providence person. It's
Jamie Hader, I got
Hollywood's
a lot going
right.
on right now, but you make me feel all tingly. I'll just let you know.
Smack, your turn.
I mean, everyone knows I do love the aliens, Chris Statlander. So
Former alien.
she's
former alien.
a good wrestler, but also very attractive as well. I mean, I don't know where to draw the line of this, where this podcast is going to be blurred of like, I stop talking about
No,
wrestling
you're fine.
and just start talking about like how attractive I find the women of AEW. But
No, they're very attractive though.
Yeah, really though.
I mean,
they can
attractive
kick
and
ass.
talented. That's a very like, it's like a girl being hot and funny almost. Like you never see it, right?
My thoughts are blurred right now. Who is Tay's partner?
Anna Jay.
That one.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know that's the
Jay.
original Babe too. But Jamie Hader is like
The
creep.
bunny. I mean,
Yeah.
guys,
All right.
Oh, the bunny.
we can go on forever here.
Razor Ramon.
Hey,
I'm
yo.
gonna throw that name out there.
Hey yo.
Scott
How many
Hall.
times as a kid did you say, "Hey yo"? Did you throw a toothpick?
I just
Did
threw
you
one
do
at
the
Jimmy
ba-
at the
ba-
barber
ba-
shop
ba-
today.
ba?
He did. Yeah.
No.
I did. I had to.
I allowed
I mean, could you
Had
not
to.
after this week?
Had to. Scott Hall. My words off the top of my head right now. Heartbreaking. This one was very heartbreaking, very painful. Anytime any legend from pro wrestling passes, it's very painful, very heartbreaking. But this one hit extra hard because of whether you heard it, whether you saw documentaries, whether you read about it. He did his fucking thing. He had a very, very long and painful battle with being a victim of that era of pro wrestling where it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, kind of where wrestling and the music industry kind of met. The music industry obviously still being there, the wrestling industry cleaning itself up as much as it can. You saw recent situations with John Moxley, rare occurrences, but Scott Hall was a victim of being in an era where everyone was living that lifestyle.
Yeah. Doing
And
cocaine just to wake up in the morning.
He cleaned himself up years ago. I would even say over a decade now.
It was right before his Hall of Fame, so around 2013, 2012.
He was
So
sober
yeah,
for
probably
30
pretty much a
years,
decade.
I
Probably
think,
about a
before
decade,
they
yeah.
let him in the Hall of Fame.
It was about like a
2
couple
or
years,
3
2 or 3 years.
They
That's
made
very
it,
accurate.
at least.
And that sucks because, you watching his comeback story then, because he had like an E60 documentary.
There was, I think it was in either Fall River, New Bedford.
Fall River was
where
the
he,
show where
stumbled
you
down
saw
the-
him kind of OD at.
That's where he was. It was New Bedford.
was-
yeah,
Or
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Wow, that promoter was an asshole, by the way.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sure
I
was.
don't.
It's
It's
Yeah.
still,
I
yo,
mean-
100%.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I don't.
Blast
you
him.
know.
Who gives a shit?
I 100% agree. I don't think anybody will disagree with you. It sucks because you watch comeback stories like that happened a decade ago, and you don't expect something like this to happen, and it's an unfortunate situation where he had
3 fucking heart attacks.
he had 3 heart attacks.
Like right after
his heart
surgery,
his
like
heart
that's-
basically couldn't handle the surgery that he was having, and for a wrestler who came from that, there's some people who I've been hearing say, and they're not necessarily wrong, say he lived for longer than people expected, but to watch him come
Shitty thing to
back,
say, but I mean,
yeah, but to watch him come back from that, you want him to,
Thought
you
it'd
want to
be
keep
longer
rooting.
now.
Yeah,
keep
Yeah,
rooting exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I think it just hits everybody pretty heavy because I think we can all say that it's like a piece of our childhood died more than anything. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I don't know if somebody who's a 12-year-old wrestling fan right now feels the same as we do.
No.
Even if they go back and they watch the old matches, I don't think that it's still gonna hit them the way it probably hits somebody our age, 25 to whatever 45. I mean, I love Shawn Michaels. We don't know that. I made it clear on the podcast today. Jimmy knows. I mean, but when I was a kid, Shawn Michaels was the blonde hair, clean cut. You know what I mean? My dad had black hair. I had black hair. My dad had the chest hair. You know what I mean? Like
Razor made that
Razor
shit
was
cool.
just like my hero. Really, I cheered for Razor Ramon, not Shawn Michaels, when I was a kid because he was like relatable to me. You know what I mean? So it really was sad when he passed away. It's like I really did lose a chunk of my childhood, which I think, again, you guys can all agree with, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still one of my favorite ladder matches of all time.
Ooh,
and it's not even the bias with Shawn Michaels. It's just that it was the first. Usually the first is not one of the best.
No, true. It's
and
not.
that
It's
is
usually
one
the
of
most-
the best.
Yeah. Though his match against Brett, though, at the Rumble.
Yes, that's another
too.
good one that we brought up at the
I did,
yeah.
and I actually went out of my way to watch it for you because I knew you were such. I knew if we had to talk Razor Ramon, I knew you'd weasel in Bret Hart at some point. So I went ahead and watched the match, and it was
Because
good.
you could weasel in Sean too. They had
Sure
the
you
first
could.
ever ladder match. Yeah.
When you said first ever, I want to go directly to Hell in the Cell with the Undertaker, but we're not going to go there. It's Razor Ramon's night in Scott Hall. But I mean, and that match, because I just appreciated like how good he was at like working in the ring and like, you know, the like selling because Bret Hart is like technical. He's not really like pick you up and slam you. You know what I mean? And like anything he did with his leg or like tripping him, like Scott Hall was taking like boom, like taking these like falling back where I was like, wow, like this was a great match. And even though he knew he was going to lose, he's still like, you know, he made it a good match. He wasn't spiteful about it, or I just, you know, it's a tough loss for wrestling.
You also
for
got to
sure.
think how strong he was back in the day too, because like his finisher, the Razor's Edge, like he's lifting some heavy boys over his head
By the arm.
by the arms,
Yeah.
not by something where it's like they can hold a little bit about their weight. He's holding pretty much all the. I mean, I'm sure they might be helping by like, you know, pressing up or something, but he's holding a lot of their weight. And
my rare couple guys in my top 5-10 is like Shawn, Jericho, and Punk. But if you look at that list, it's like guys like Taker, guys like Razor, his body type, his build. He is one of the rare big guys that didn't move like the average big guy, where it was like, you know, fucking 5 miles an hour, you know, simple set, nothing wowed you. He moved with the charisma that he moved with when he talked on the microphone. And you look at him from a distance and you don't hear him talk on the mic and you don't see him wrestle. He should be one of those guys who is bland, but he wasn't.
he was not. He
Ever.
was the opposite of bland.
Whether it was Razor or whether it was Scott Hall in NWO.
I mean, I thought he was Cuban for the first couple of
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
He did a good job of that, right?
He did a
And
very good
without
job of that, yeah.
being like racist about it, he did a great job of acting Spanish
Of
and not
course.
being
Yeah,
Spanish.
yeah,
like, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I mean, and you keep saying big man, and I don't know, to the casual fan, I didn't even know this until like 3 years ago. Scott Hall was 6'8". I thought he was, because he's always really 6'8". He was, I mean, but he's always sitting next to Kevin Nash for most of his career, so
Yes.
you don't pick up on it. But he is a big man.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy. You would consider him a big man.
Him and Kurt Hennig, when they came into the NWA, or no, not NWA, AWA, like they were those guys
Tag
beefy.
team, yeah, good tag
Holy
team.
cow. Wow.
Kurt Hennig, another R.I.P. Great wrestler. I mean, what else can we say about the man, the Razor?
Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
I mean, and we'll never forget him. I just phenomenal wrestler. I'll never forget when he walked on a Nitro. Like as a kid, like not knowing what's, you know what I mean, when like kayfabe is like, that's what I loved about that era. And like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and like
Broke that shit.
They did, and they truly did. And he like, if it wasn't for them and like that, I believe that brought wrestling out of the grave, truly.
Yeah.
Oh my
In
God,
the
yeah.
sense of like,
I mean that whole thing changed the wrestling business forever. Like I have it ingrained in my head. It's like, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
For the kids now,
yes.
Scott Hall was part of the boys who had that original. Without that moment, there wouldn't be these moments on AEW where
No.
guys from the other side come in and you're like, holy shit, the
yeah.
original moment where people opened the forbidden door was Scott Hall and the boys.
And Kevin Nash, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And interesting, in his real life too. Like, I mean, because I've watched documentaries. Didn't know until like a couple months ago. Honestly, didn't know he killed a guy when he was younger.
Yeah.
He did, yeah. Self-defense, though.
Was in the army. He was self-defense, but just, I mean,
Just a fact,
he's got to
yeah.
live with it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
True,
He
yeah.
was in the army. He and just, you know, I remember who told the story. I think it was Kevin Nash. Like, Scott Hall, I guess, would do things like 5 seconds before you wrestled him, and you guys were both like standing behind the curtain. He would look at you before you walked out, and Kevin Nash goes, he would just look at the guy he was wrestling and go, "You're gonna wear that out there?" And then just walk out to his entrance music and just like, because he was just the
Dripping in
man,
gold.
dripping, oozing machismo.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
the
Dripping
man.
in
brother.
gold.
The original,
Versace,
very charismatic.
like-
yeah.
He just had to be himself. He didn't have to be anything else but himself.
There was a line where I heard he's like talking to somebody about this finish. He's like, "Oh, what's your finish, kid? I can't wait to kick out of it." Something like that. Like he was just
That's who Scott Hall is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the, I would say, definitely top 10 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I mean, and what they did for the wrestling industry won't be forgotten.
He's a pioneer, bro.
The best wrestling to me is when kayfabe is blurred. That's
Yeah,
always
he was
like,
part of that. He was
He
part of the
was.
original.
of doing that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I think that's all I got for this week.
yeah. R.I.P. man, Razor, a.k.a. Scott
Scott
Hall.
Hall.
Two very, very, very. You know both of those personalities when it comes to pro wrestling, especially when you grew up watching it in the 90s.
Yeah.
And for the kids who don't, I'm sure you already have.
Go
an
on the
idea.
YouTube,
Go
do a
on
little
YouTube,
Google
Yeah,
search.
do
your
yourself a
thing.
favor.
Yeah, do something.
And even jerk the tears a little bit, bro. Go on and find that E60 documentary is an amazing
that was
comeback
tough.
story.
It was, yeah.
Very, very amazing comeback story. So, if anybody else has any closing, statements or anything for this week, other than that,
I just want to say thank you for having me.
Of
Yeah,
course,
thanks for joining us,
It's been
Hollywood.
such a pleasure. I appreciate it.
yeah, you'll
Thank
come
you,
out.
guys.
Yeah, I
Hopefully
can
I'll
see
see you
this-
guys again.
I can see this being a future thing. You and Gary have a very weird.
A love-hate
Yeah.
thing going on.
Yeah.
We do. I'll smarten him up. I'll get
I
him.
thought he was. Oh, sorry.
He was what?
Nothing. I was trying to hint
Instigate.
At, yeah, I was trying to instigate. Yeah.
He's gonna be back on.
Hollywood's welcome back.
Yeah, Hollywood is definitely
I
welcome.
Yeah,
appreciate it,
absolutely.
guys. Hollywood George definitely appreciates it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I want to like to say, support your independent wrestling industries.
Yes.
Yes.
Because the independent wrestlers of today are the future
Yes.
Sure. That's
celebrities
true.
of tomorrow.
Yep.
So definitely, I think I would like to, if we ever come back again, maybe we all watch a couple independent things, like throw that in there.
Yeah.
If you guys
We
want.
could. We definitely could
Beyond-
do a
Beyond
couple
Let's go live at
showcase.
Beyond.
Beyond Wrestling does every Thursday up in Worcester, I think.
Beyond Wrestling.
Every Thursday?
Chaotic Wrestling.
Chaotic Wrestling,
every,
yep.
every Thursday. Shout out JT Dunn.
There we go. Yep. Oh,
but yeah,
something
definitely.
happened with the camera.
We're good. We're wrapping up right now. Anyway,
Camera is no longer working. It says only audio from restaurant.
I guess you guys are lucky right now.
Everyone's getting naked. You guys
Hollywood
are missing
George.
it. Holy shit.
Hollywood George will return.
Fuck. No one's gonna tune into YouTube ever again.
It's like the Marvel post credit scene. Hollywood George will
right.
return.
Oh, that's
Scotty Mack is obviously
Of
here
course I will
every
return.
week. Gary
Every
the
week.
Saint is here every week. Your boy Jimmy Luca's here every week. And,
We ain't going nowhere.
We'll be
We're
back.
gonna find you.
Fly high, Mr. Scott Hall.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, and we'll catch you guys on episode 7.
Goodbye.